it's Julie, owner of Lady Bits Physical Therapy, pelvic floor physical therapist here, coming at you today to make a video about how to avoid peeing your pants when you feel like, oh my gosh, you really have to pee and there's nothing in the world that's going to stop you from peeing your pants. So this is a really important type of urinary incontinence. It's called urge incontinence. In other words, I have to be so bad, get out of my way. And it's triggered by several different things. It could be your keys in the front door and oh my gosh, you have to pee your pants. Or you're running your hands, putting your hands under running water, say to wash the vegetables at night, getting ready to make dinner, put those vegetables under running water, and next thing you know, you have to pee. Now I'm familiar with all of these because I've had all these myself. So I'm here to say that you don't have to suffer anymore and you don't have to stop everything you're doing to go pee all the time. There's an answer for that. So for that urge, those big strong urges, this is how you're going to overcome them without peeing your pants. Okay, so we're going to return back to our pelvic floor anatomy. So if you've watched my anatomy video before, then you're familiar with all of this. And if you've watched me how to Kegel video, you're familiar with this group of muscles I refer to as the squeezers. These are the don't pee in the pool, don't fart at the party muscles. These guys are going to be pretty important. So let's talk about urge incontinence. I'm going to use an example I like to use because it ruled my life for so long, and it was the urge that I got when I was driving in the driveway. I would be driving home from anything, and I would be fine, and then the minute I pull in the driveway, open the garage door, boom, have to pee. So bad. But 2 blocks ago, I didn't have to pee. 1 block ago, I didn't have to pee. So now I have to pee so bad, I've got to gather up all my stuff and get to the front door and try not to pee my pants with everything going on. So I'm here to say there's an answer for that. So we're going to practice a little urge suppression when you have a big, strong urge. So here's what I like to practice. So it starts with your squeezers. So you have a big, strong urge. I'm going to use the example as though I'm in the car. So why 2 blocks ago did you not have to pee? And suddenly you pull in your driveway and you do have to pee. Or 5 minutes ago you didn't have to, and then you pick up the vegetables, you start to wash them, and then you do. Key in the door, all those fun things. Well, it's due to neural loops. So you have 4 neural loops between your brain and your bladder. Think of them like 4 highways running up and down your spinal cord. Your bladder gets 2 lanes going up. Your brain gets 2 lanes going down. So 2 lanes going in each direction. Now at your spinal cord, all 4 lanes are never allowed to be open at once. So you can either have your bladder lanes going, and all you know is you have to pee, and that's the only thing you know. Or your brain lanes are going, and you don't have to pee. Which is why before you got home, as you're driving around, your brain, which was very busy, making sure that you don't hit any pedestrians, that you're not breaking the speed limit, watching your mirrors, watching everyone around you, your brain was really busy. So your brain was dominating those neural loops, so you didn't have to pee. And then you pull into your driveway, and your brain turns right off. You're on autopilot. You know exactly how to get in your driveway, and you're not assessing the safety of what's going on around you anymore. So your body literally switches into autopilot, and then you can be triggered. Your brain lanes turn off, so your bladder lanes turn right on, and all of a sudden, now you have to pee. So how do we manipulate that neural system so that you don't feel like you have to pee every time you get home or every time you wash your hands, even after you've just peed and you're washing your hands and there it comes again? You can learn to master these triggers and master the neural loops. So it starts with your squeezers. So I'm going to use the example of being in the driveway. So I pull in the driveway and all I know is I have to pee. Turn off the car. First things first, don't move. When you get a big strong urge, the first thing I recommend is if there is a chair nearby, sit down or at least stop moving. The more you move, the worse you're going to feel like you have to pee. And you know that because as you're running to the bathroom, the sensation gets stronger. You see the toilet gets even stronger, so you know that. So stop moving, sit if possible. If you're already in your car, great, you're already sitting, you're halfway there. So you're going to sit, and then you're going to squeeze your squeezers. These are don't pee in the pool, don't fart at the party. Squeezing these muscles sends a signal to your bladder muscle to take a break, relax, and quit freaking out. So you're going to squeeze your squeezers. Now I've read books that say a big long hold, and I've read books that say a bunch of fast Kegels, quick flicks. I've tried both. Try it, just see what works best for you. I have had patients who tell me the big quick Kegels don't do anything for them. I've had patients who say just one big long strong hold helps. So experiment with your pelvic floor and see what works best for you. For me personally, one big long hold works really well. That's assuming you can hold those muscles for a long time and they're not weak. So there's a lot of assumptions going on here, but that's why sitting down helps. It gives you a little pressure on your perineum, helps close off those muscles for you. So you're in your car, you feel like you have to pee, you turn off your car and squeeze your squeezers. Next step, you're gonna focus on your breath. Why? Because with this big strong urge, you are shifted into fight or flight. So a natural fight or flight response would be you scare a young child. What do? They pee their pants. That's normal. That's built into our bodies. We're biologically driven to pee our pants when under extreme amounts of stress. So if there's a mountain lion chasing you, why would you want to run with a full bladder? Your body knows it doesn't. It's going to dump that bladder so you can run away from that mountain lion without the extra weight of carrying around in your bladder. That being the case, our bodies tend to switch into fight or flight when we don't want them to. So if you have a big strong urge and then your brain goes, oh my gosh, I have to find a bathroom. I have to find a bathroom. You've just put yourself in a fight or flight. So now your body is biologically driven to pee your pants. So we have to switch out of fight or flight. So you're in your car, you turn down your squeezers. Next step is we're going to slow down the breath. Shrug your shoulders. Diaphragmatic breathing. Breathing into the ribs, breathing into that lateral rib space. Try to focus your breath 4 seconds in, 7 seconds out. 4 in, 7 out. And you're squeezing while you're doing this. Now, I'm describing this as though it's going to take you 5 minutes. It's not. You can do all this in about a minute. So you squeeze and you breathe and you really slow down that breath. You want to shift your body out of fight or flight and into that rest and digest parasympathetic state. Another trick I like to share is, there goes my printer, mind of its own. Hi, printer. Another trick I like to share is getting that brain lane going, turning those brain waves on. So I say try counting backwards from 100 by 3s or by 7s because it's obnoxious, it's prime numbers. You really have to think about these things. You really have to think, oh man, what comes after 94 or wherever you are on your list. So you can think backwards, or you can think about, all the friends you remember from the first grade. What are all their first names? That's a lot of names. You're really thinking. You're thinking so hard, you're going to turn your brain lanes on. It's going to shut off the bladder lanes. So as long as your eyes are diverting up and to the right, you're thinking hard enough, whether you're doing complex math or you're figuring out your grocery list for that day, or who are the people you remember kissing in high school, friends you've made since the first grade, anything that gets your mind going. One of your grandkids' birthdays, try to get your mind spinning. So in summary, we've sat in the car, we pull in the driveway, we have to pee really bad, and we squeeze, slow down the breath, turn your brain on. That combination of those things, the squeeze sends a signal to the bladder to relax. That slow, relaxed breathing sends a signal to the vagus nerve, to the parasympathetic system, that we're going to switch into rest and digest mode, and then you turn your brain on, which requires some of that neurological process going on, so that very quickly, within less than a minute, that big strong urge to go pee is just gone, or at least reduced by 80% or 90%. So now you can get out of your car. Well, here's the caveat. If you have 8 triggers between your car and the bathroom, you must keep breathing, and you must keep counting or keep your brain on. So as you exit your car, you're going to grab all your stuff. You're going to keep breathing. You're going to keep counting. As your keys come out, you enter it into the door. You're going to keep breathing and keep counting. And maybe you have to stop and pause and give your pelvic floor a squeeze. Breathe, count, reset. Great. Now you can put your stuff down. You're in your house. Say hello to Fido or the cat, the husbands, the kids, all those good things. And slowly and calmly, do not run, do not rush. The faster that you go, the worse it will make it. Slowly and calmly make your way to the bathroom. If the minute you see the toilet, the urge gets worse and you feel like you're going to pee your pants, stop, breathe, reset, squeeze, count, sit if you need to. You can get there. It's not an emergency. You will get there. And this will get better with practice. So the more you practice this, the better you're going to get at actually turning off that big, strong urge. And eventually you might be able to use that technique, what I use with my patients, to do bladder retraining, but we're not covering that here. So the whole purpose of this is to help teach you how to overcome those triggers and overcome that sensation of, oh my gosh, I have to pee, so that it's not an emergency, because it shouldn't be an emergency. Let's see, is there anything I'm forgetting? I think that's it. So I hope this was informational. There are several factors that cause urinary urgency, such as constipation. If your rectum is full, it's going to lean forward and push on your bladder more. So you're going to find that if you get a little backed up, you have more urgency. Acidic foods or dehydration. So if you're not drinking enough water, that creates more urgency. A lot of patients think that I don't want to have to pee, so I'm not going to drink. That's completely the opposite, because then your urine is really concentrated. It irritates the lining of your bladder, and your bladder says, I don't like this, get this out. So you might be working yourself backwards thinking, I don't want to drink because I don't want to pee, and the next thing you know, you're peeing 12 times a day, 5 times at night with an irritated bladder, with concentrated urine. Nobody's happy. So stay hydrated. Avoid caffeine, carbonated beverages, acidic foods. If you have the constant need to urinate all day long, that's something that can help avoid constipation. And breathe. Breathe, relax, take time for yourself, and know that the more you practice this, the better you will get at it. And I can say for myself, I no longer am triggered when I get home in the driveway. It's no longer a thing. That trigger is now gone. And I'm no longer triggered when I put my key in the door. Washing vegetables, 75% of the time I'm okay. And I don't always practice it. Sometimes I give in and I go to the bathroom. So these are things that are changeable. You can get power. You don't have to be ruled by the bathroom. You don't have to have your bathroom radar up at all times to always know where the nearest bathroom is everywhere you go. And try to avoid peeing just in case. Because the more you just in case pee, the more you train your bladder not to hold fluids. And we can talk a lot about those kinds of behaviors. But for today, I hope your squeezers are strong, and I hope your breathing is calm, and you can get your brain going so you can turn off those triggers. If you have any questions, you know how to contact me. I'm Julie at ladybitspt.com. You can find my website, ladybitspt.com, and like, subscribe, and share, and I will try to continue to put out more videos that help you ladies. All right, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.